Hey guys, I've got a bunch of errands to run in the big city this week, so Mel suggested, why not just go and stay for the week? And I thought, yeah, let's try some urban stealth camping. What could possibly go wrong? So this morning I was in Chilliwack dropping off a couple packages, then a quick stop at the Ram dealer, and now I'm in Maple Ridge at Walmart, which seems like an odd spot. But a little while ago I got these shoes and they're just so comfy. So I'm actually going to try and buy another pair just because they're so good and so inexpensive. And yes, I buy shoes at Walmart because sometimes they're just a great deal. Grabbed a few more items to go with my super shoe deal. Now I've got to get myself to Coquitlam to have a look at the van's air conditioner. It is just not quite working right. So hopefully we can get that sorted now. Using the new fruit hanger, of course. It's pretty handy. All right, just finished up with the AC technician, and unfortunately it's a wait and see kind of thing. It's a little chilly today, so we couldn't really get a good test in, so we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow or the next day when it's actually supposed to be hot. Possibly the sensor might have to be moved, so we'll see. Now I've got to drop a little thing off, then figure out a good place to set up for a video call. All right, I'm all set up to have a business call in my little portable office here. All right, my video call went well here in the IKEA parking lot. Now I think it's time for an IKEA hot dog. So I got the nice $1 veggie dog. Not bad for $1. It's got some onions and some cabbage on it. Looks pretty decent. I will actually make a proper dinner tonight, but this makes a pretty good lunch at 4 o'clock. All right, it's time to get down to work and edit some video. I will say it's pretty nice having a portable office you can just take anywhere. Now we're getting some good solar right now. So I'm gonna come in here, fire up the water heater. Because I can use all this free solar energy right now to heat up the water, and it should stay fairly warm for into the evening. All right, I got a good bit of editing done. Now I can sit down in the living room and just relax a bit. I do have to say, I really like that we did this swivel chair idea. It really just gives this whole front of the van this like nice open feeling. It's very bright when the shades aren't in. And even when the shades are in and it's completely dark, you still feel like you have a lot of space. You know, it's a good height. I've still got, I don't know, a couple inches to the roof from my head, and I'm 5'11". So now I think it's time to actually make some dinner in the van. What shall I have? So unlike the trailer, I have to actually get my stove out. And it's this induction cooktop. So I'm gonna have something I like to call a savory bran cake. Now I've pre-mixed this. It's basically wheat bran, wheat germ, some baking powder, some baking soda, what else? Some spices, some seeds, some nuts. You can basically put whatever you want, but the base is just the bran and the wheat germ, and it kind of cooks up like a pancake. You add an egg and a little bit of oil, and then you can put some cheese or toppings on it, and it's just really good and really healthy. And pretty quick to make in a van, too. So I'll just add a couple scoops of patented mix here. There's no real exact measurement. Now I add a little bit of avocado oil. How much? Just, the right amount. It's probably good. And now an egg. Then you just mix it all together. Try not to make a mess as you mix it together. Brought some red onion from home that needs to be used up. So I'll saute that a little bit first. A little bit of butter. How about a lot of butter? I find power level 5 is usually pretty good. It does heat up really fast. Butter's already melting. That is a lot of onions, isn't it? It's starting to smell oniony. I better turn up the fan. Maybe open up this window just a little more. While those are going, I'll cut up some cheese to melt on top. Our friends Hannah and Andy from one of our previous videos actually forgot their cheese at our house. So thank you guys for the inadvertent gift. And I have to say, the airflow in the van works perfectly as designed. Comes right in this window, takes all the food odors and sweeps them up into the sky. All right, these onions are mostly sauteed, so I'm actually gonna mix them in with my bran cake mix. The induction stove will get really angry at me because I took the pan away. Now I can kind of mix in those onions a little. Now cook the bran cake. I'll shape it into a pancake shape here. Put the lid on to help it cook through. And usually the first side takes about 3 minutes. Second side, again, about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, time to flip it and put some cheese on. That lid on again, help it melt nicely. And there we have it, perfect bran cake. Final touch will just be to add a couple of freshly grown sprouts and a little bit of mayo. Because, well, if you ask Mel, I kind of put mayo on everything. These are the fresh garden greens that you can grow in a van. So there you have it, healthy van cooked meal. Gonna sit down and have my dinner and watch a little bit of educational YouTube. Now, of course, everyone's favorite time to wash the dishes. We're using this concentrated, environmentally friendly soap. I mixed a bit into here so I can just spray it on the dishes. I'm actually using some of that hot water I heated up earlier. Tidying everything up and putting everything away because we're gonna have to move out of this parking lot pretty soon. Pretty sure IKEA does not allow overnight parking. Now, a few of you have been asking about the Trillino composting toilet. Mel and I have been using it, and so far so good. We're actually just experimenting with different compost materials. We've tried wood shavings, and we've also tried coconut coir. We still haven't found the perfect mixture to prevent odors, so if you have any suggestions, please let us know in the comments. We've also read that putting toilet paper in a separate bin can sometimes help with odors as well. Let us know if you found that to be the case. Now, pretty soon I'm gonna have to leave this friendly IKEA parking lot and go search for a place to park the van for the night. Now, this van is far from stealth with its double roof rack, all the solar, clear markings of a camper van. So I'm not looking to stealth camp where I'm not allowed to camp. What I'm looking for is somewhere I can park legally overnight and basically not upset anyone. So I'm not going to be posting any details about what I find. I really have no idea what I'm going to find, or if I'm going to get the knock where someone comes and bothers me in the middle of the night and tells me to move. Never done this before, never really had the opportunity since the trailer was just too big. So yeah, let us know your best urban camping tips in the comments. Or in this case, I guess just your urban overnight parking tips. So I arrived at my first potential spot, and it actually seems like a pretty good bet. There's some motorhomes parked here with their slides out, and they're huge. So I feel like this will probably be a decent spot for the night. Check out how dark it is in here with those shades in. And this one here has a little flap, so I can keep my window open for ventilation. So given the number of RVs here, I think I'm pretty safe for the night. I'm going to leave the van configured in drive mode in case I did have to leave quickly. But other than that, I'm going to get settled in and continue on with editing. Then go to bed and hopefully have a restful sleep. Can't forget about personal hygiene. Now, I can't say I'm really loving having to brush my teeth at the kitchen sink, but I think I'll get used to it. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. Well, good morning. The nice thing about this spot is it comes with a free complimentary crow wake-up call. But that said, it was a pretty good night's sleep. There was a few cars and noises at first, but through the night, got a little quieter. This morning I'm going to have a sweet bran cake, which has different spices like cinnamon and cardamom, some pumpkin seeds, slightly different than the savory variety. This one I usually put some flax in it too. I'm up and I've had my breakfast, so now I'm going to try and relocate somewhere a little more scenic to do some work. So after a short 15-minute commute that also topped up my battery a bit, now at the top of Burnaby Mountain Park. So I'd say the parking lot here at the top of Burnaby Mountain is a pretty good van life spot, to be honest. They've got free public bathrooms and it's nice and quiet. The only weird thing today is they're doing some filming, so they've got like half the parking lot blocked off. Well, just had a nice call in my scenic location here. The sun is out and we're charging at over 500 watts and it's only, what, like not even 11. So I'm telling you, all that solar on the roof is starting to pay off already. Well, it's a pretty beautiful day, so I think I'm gonna have to go for a hike while I'm here. This is really more just a walk than a hike, but still getting a little bit of a workout, getting some nice fresh air. There's a lot of hills and elevation changes in this park, so getting my cardio workout without having to use my elliptical. So one thing I was going to do at home this week was install this new Starlink mini mount. But I figure I can probably do this on the road, right? Also, having the Starlink on the dash is okay, but it's like not that convenient having these wires here. So I'd kind of like to get it up on the roof. Let's see if we can do that. Well, I like this. It is a heavy, solid mount. I think I trust this one a lot more than the last one. Now you can see I don't take chances. I've got an emergency strap as well as the magnets. So even if the magnets let loose, this thing is gonna hold. All right, I'd say that's job done. Looks and feels pretty solid. The next test will be driving with it. Keeping it simple for lunch, just having some eggs. I call that style smashed. You just put it in and smash the yolk and then cook it up. So tonight I'm going to try out our new rice cooker. Never used a rice cooker before, but apparently it's easy. All right, I pushed the button. It's all up to the cooker now. Oh, I didn't even notice that my rice was done. Thankfully, I set a half-hour timer just to remind me. Let's see how this turned out. So I use this to check it out. Looks ricey. Uh-oh. Sticking a little bit. Seems like it might be a little overdone, but I think it'll be edible. And add a little bit of tuna also. All right, I got some tuna, some mayo, some cheese. I actually made a little too much dinner, so I'll have leftovers for tomorrow. Well, the sun has set, and that was my day at Burnaby Mountain. Now I've got to go find a place to sleep. I'm going to try a slightly different place tonight. And if that doesn't work out, I'll go back to the original one. But yeah, it's been a real nice day here at Burnaby Mountain. Morning, everyone. This place was super nice and super quiet. Again, I'm not going to give any details, but yeah, this was a good one. So now I'm just going to make some coffee and on to a new day spot. Yeah, this whole van life thing, it's pretty cool. I think it might catch on, actually. Oh, another random thing. I heated our water heater about 3 o'clock yesterday when it was bright sun and I could use all that solar power. And it must have pretty good insulation because it's actually still warm this morning, like warm enough that I could probably even take a shower with it. So this morning I'm going to try out a location called Burnaby Lake. They've got lots of trails and a lake. Situated myself just in a little parking lot here, so we'll see how she goes. It's supposed to be pretty sunny and hot today too, so I think I'll put the front shade in. Get the fan going. So yeah, this looks like a pretty good spot to hunker down and get some editing done. I'm just working on our updated Hope video, which you probably saw last week. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't seen that one yet, be sure to check it out after this one. All right, this is a momentous occasion. I'm going to take our first ever van shower in our van. So the first thing I need to do is take out our Trillino toilet, and then I'm going to have a huge, huge area to shower. Well, huge in van terms, at least. I think I'll also increase the fan. Don't want to be getting any moisture in the van. Oh, and I've had the water heater going for a little while with full solar. And our battery, let's see, actually almost fully recovered because it's a nice sunny day. Close up all the shades for full privacy. Gosh, it's kind of dark now. Left that window flap open for some airflow. All right, first van shower, here we go. Well, that was just lovely. And these quick drying towels that Mel used in India are actually pretty good too. Nice and absorbent. But anyways, yeah, huge shower space. We've got 3 foot by 2 foot. Lots of space. Feels absolutely luxurious. Loving the shower. Even though it takes up a lot of space in the van, well worth having it, I think. Well, that is pretty sweet. I can be all refreshed for my AI networking event tonight, which reminds me about the sponsor of this week's video, which is me, or rather my company, Syllogistic Software. Some of you might know, but I do AI software consulting. So if you know anyone who is struggling with AI or anything software related, or needs some help, or just has some questions, what do I do with it? How can it help my business? Just give me a shout. I'll leave a link in the description below. Now let's see after a couple days how much water I've used, including that shower. Well, I've used a bit. I would say that's roughly, let's see, full was there. I've almost used about a quarter. We're hoping with the 2 of us, we can go up to a week. So we'll have to test that out when we have both Mel and I showering. So this is what the front of the van looks like with all those curtains in. The window open, you can kind of see in, but not really. Lunchtime again. Eggs are always a quick and easy choice, and these are even fresh local Hope eggs. It's been a busy morning, but I think it's about time to go out and get some exercise. Right by Burnaby Lake, so I should at least go see the lake. Sometimes it feels a little weird just kind of leaving the van in a random parking lot. But I've got the security cam and Starlink that lets me check in on it anytime in real time. It's actually kind of nice and cool in here. I've got the air conditioner conditionally working, so to speak. The sensors aren't still 100%, but at least it's cooling things down. So we're down to 21.5 in the bedroom area. The outdoor temperature is almost 30. That's from underneath the van. And this is the front of the van. So this we knew would be a bit of an issue. It's like here. Oh yeah, oh, it feels great. Walking to the front, getting a little warmer, walking to the front. Yeah, here in the front here, it's quite a bit warmer. So we might get just like a little USB fan or something just to try and circulate the air a bit, but, ooh, yeah. Oh, I think I'll just stand right here. Now, I might have mentioned it before, but the really nice thing about this air conditioner is that A, it's 12 volt, so it's most efficient with the batteries, and B, it only uses 500 watts when it's running, which means with our solar in full sun, you can run it pretty much indefinitely as long as the sun is shining and overhead. I've been running it since about 11 this morning, getting on 2.5 hours, and our battery is still at 99%. So it's basically just even. So yeah, that's gonna be great for Benny and us too. All right, onwards and upwards. Gonna head from Burnaby Lake towards the downtown area.
Can I get a ride?
Yeah. Look who I found randomly downtown Vancouver.
Just randomly.
Chris from the Chris and Emily Show. You may have seen them in a couple of our other videos.
Yep. And I was expecting you to be able to park here, but in the 5 months we've been away, it is no longer a parking lot.
No parking. All right, we should go find some parking. Nobody street parking around here?
Not free.
Well, it doesn't have to be free. It just has to be less than $30.
Yeah, then, yeah, I mean, it's all along here.
After my coffee with Chris, I was on the move again. All right, I'm here at my AI networking event, and I have to say it's pretty nice just showing up, being able to change your clothes, brush your teeth, just having this nice little portable condo in the parking lot. And I can actually park here overnight, so presumably this is where I'm going to be spending the night. Haven't seen anything that says otherwise yet, so I've prepaid for my parking. Should be good to go. Let's go network. So the weather's a little different this morning. A little more of your typical Vancouver gray and wet, but it's actually supposed to get nicer probably by noon or so. So yeah, so I had a pretty good sleep here. It got quiet by about 11. It's a paid parking lot, cost me just over $15 for the night. I got here just before 6 p.m. and that gets you to 6 a.m. So yeah, it's what? 10 to 6, so I'm going to be moving on and trying to find a free parking lot for the day. But yeah, it was pretty good. There's even another RV down the way here. So yeah, let's go find some free parking. So parking here in the Kitsilano area is maybe not going to be all that easy, but I did find a nice spot that's going to get me till 9 a.m. So now I've got to figure out where to go after pay parking starts at 9 a.m. Or I don't know, maybe it'll be worth staying here. But at least this gives me a nice spot to get up, get dressed, have some breakfast, get my day going. So I've learned that pretty much all of the parking in the Spanish Banks area is now paid, and it's $1 per hour, which seems fairly reasonable. So I think I can swing that. The weather right now is not nice, but the weather report says it's going to be nice. So yeah, I think I'll hang out down here and maybe check out the beach a little later on. So I moved a little bit east and now I'm right on the beach. Hopefully this view will improve slightly. It's around 9 a.m., so it'll cost me $12 to stay here till 9 p.m. I mean, it's a little pricey, but I think I can do that for a beachfront parking spot. Well, I had a nice long call with Mel, catching up on everything happening back in Hope, and caught up on some business, had another business call. So yeah, productive morning, and it's looking like things are starting to clear up a little bit. It's not raining anymore, and it's definitely getting brighter, so I might get some beach time this afternoon. We'll see. Now, question for people. I have a Max Air fan, and it's really quiet and really efficient, except it has a little bit of a squeak. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like a very high-pitched, like, ee. Has anyone else had that? I don't know. Maybe there's an easy solution. I would hate to have to replace it. So let me know if you've had troubles with a squeaky Max Air fan. Almost right according to the forecast. We're seeing some sun. Looks like the tide might be coming in now. All of this is going to be covered in water pretty soon. Well, that was my day at the beach. I rather enjoyed it. Now I gotta go find a place to sleep. Day 4 of my urban adventure. I had a pretty good sleep last night, found a nice quiet spot. Again, won't give out the details, but it was on a residential street alongside a park, and yeah, I parked strategically right by a speed bump, so people driving by would have to slow down. Maybe that's a van life tip that I didn't even know. But anyways, I'm back on the beach this morning, and it's beautiful again. But sadly, I am going to have to leave. I've got a call I've got to do, and then I've got to start heading back. So far, this adventure has been pretty good. Knock on wood. I've been learning a lot about what it means to be living full-time in the van, and, found a couple little things that we can maybe add or modify. Like I rearranged the garage a little bit so that I could get to the water heater from inside. But yeah, I think the van is going to do awesome for us to travel this fall and this winter. So stay tuned for that. Before leaving Vancouver, I met up with my friend Dave for coffee and gave him a tour of the new van. Then I was off to Chilliwack for another coffee meetup. I drank a lot of coffee that day, but I was gonna need it. Well, I can't talk long, but this has been such an amazing day. I was able to do some in-person coffee meetups with some people that I hadn't seen in a while, as well as some Zoom virtual calls that were really productive. Now I'm actually at the University of Fraser Valley in Chilliwack for a 24-hour hackathon. I have no idea what I've gotten myself into, but it sounds fun. I haven't eaten at all today, though, because I've been so busy. So I'm just quickly cooking up some eggs just to get some protein and some fuel, considering I'm going to be up for, well more than 24 hours. Maybe, probably. I might come back to the van and take a nap, to be honest. Man, this has been such a great little van life trip. So yeah, let's see how this hackathon goes. Good morning, folks. I'm about halfway through, a little more than halfway through the hackathon, and I came back to the van this morning around 5 a.m. to get a little bit of sleep. I think it's just after 7 now, so unfortunately, one of the security guards here had not been notified about the event and came and banged on the van door and telling me that, there weren't any vagrants allowed to park in the parking lot. Oh boy. So anyways, it didn't take long for me to get the knock while van lifing, but unfortunately this time it was just a miscommunication, so it's all good. So now I've got to go back to the hackathon and continue working on the project and do presentations later this afternoon. Well, the 24-hour hackathon is over. And guess what? My team won. So that was kind of cool. But it was a little bit grueling. I only got about an hour and a half of sleep. And it was a lot of work, but also a lot of fun. So that was a great way to wrap up my 5-day van life adventure. Just trying out the van, seeing what it's like to live in it full time. Have to say it worked great. Loving the setup. But hold on, you might be wondering what this all cost. Well, there was that $1 IKEA hot dog, $4 to park for coffee with Chris, $15 for the AI event overnight parking, $40 admission to the AI event including food and drinks, $12 parking for the day at the beach, $8 for coffee with Dave, and $15 for the hackathon including food, drinks, and overnight parking, for a total of $95. Then, gas ended up being just over $100. I didn't keep track of the distance, but it was likely around 500 to 600 kilometers based on the 12 to 13 liters per 100 kilometers combined we've been getting. That's around 18 to 20 miles per gallon. So a grand total of $199 for 5 days of adventure. Looking forward to the next adventure, and I will see you then. Bye. Let's try that again. And Lock's still locked.
Make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications.
Oh, and don't forget to check out our website and sign up for our weekly email blast.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.